How's it going, guys? We are back once again talking about Dragon Ball Legends, and as you're most definitely aware, there is a Majin Buu saga campaign ongoing at the moment. Hopefully you've all been enjoying it thus far, but now we have finally got the information about the Ultra unit and the full kit as well. So without further ado, let's take a look. So yes, you're probably aware by now, but the Ultra unit we're going to be having is an Ultra Kid Buu, which is a really nice buff for regen finally. I've heard a lot of talk about the art and what people's thoughts are, being not the most positive if I be honest, so let me know down in the comments on a scale of 1 to 5 what you think about this art, 5 being it's an amazing art. But also make sure to stay throughout this video, because not only will I mention when I believe this unit will be released, but we'll go over some other things we can look forward to as well, and the full kit of this Ultra Kid Buu. So without further ado, make sure to hit that like and subscribe, and let's get into it. Okay, so for the main part of this video being the breakdown of the Ultra Kid Buu, we are over on the Dragon Ball Legends Twitter, because they have released it not so long ago, where you can click the link and it will bring you to this page. I do like the way that they've done this. You can sort of see it just before the release and any sort of data mines and all that sort of stuff, and I will say that I have had a quick glance over it, but I've not really had a lot of time because I was in work, so we're almost seeing this for the first time together, if I be honest. So let's have a little look then. So we've got the brand new Ultra Kid Buu, and they do have to put this in as well, bearing in mind it is still subject to change, just in case they have to make any amendments or anything like that just before release. Sort of like a disclaimer sort of thing, basically. So the Buu's main strength can be summarized in one word, apparently, being recovery, which is really good considering he is mainly a regen unit. After taking damage, Buu will be able to stubbornly recover any lost health. That's not all though, it has plenty of offensive abilities like blast armor, arts card draw speed up, special cover change nullification, endurance nullification, and this ultra character combines with an excellent offense and defense with a powerful time type unique gauge. If you're wondering what that is think about the Ultra Hit. Very similar to that, it is sort of time based. So his element is yellow, like most people were saying, and kind of makes sense with the Super Saiyan 2 Angel Goku that we just had a Zenkai. And the character tags that he fits into is Regen, Absorption, which isn't really a team, Powerful Opponent, and then the episode is Majin Buu Saga, as you'd expect. So up first then is his main ability. So obviously this is popping his main ability by pressing the actual character bottom left. In addition to restoring own health, this powerful main ability inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrades. So he draws the ultimate cards Universal Destruction next, which we'll have a look at in a little bit. We've got restores own health by 25% and ki by 40. Inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrades minus 40% to health restoration for 20 timer counts. It's got inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade plus 30% to damage received, which is pretty high to be honest, for 20 timer counts. Inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade minus 1 to arts card draw speed level for 20 timer counts, and 25 timer counts must elapse to get that off. So that is really annoying for the opponent, to be honest. So once you get the main ability off, which I think with this you kind of want to get it off as soon as possible and then use the ultimate, then once again you can annoy your enemy quite a lot with that. So we've got the Z abilities, great for regeneration and powerful opponent of parties. Obviously it does increase the higher stars you go, and you can have a little look at that, pause the video, something like that. But basically, like I said, he's buffing regen and powerful opponent as well. He doesn't seem to have any Majin Buu Saga, which is interesting considering that's what they're trying to buff at the moment. But hey ho, we'll see in game if he kind of gets it a little bit later on or something like that, but we'll see. So let's move on to the Ultra ability then. So get a powerful buff in regen parties, even if Buu is not the leader. So as with most of the Ultra abilities, if they're in the leader slot, they get basically the max Ultra ability. If they're not, they have to be alongside a certain tag or saga or something along those sort of lines. So with Buu then, if his character's in the leader slot, he gets plus 30% damage inflicted and plus 30% key recovery, cannot be cancelled. If he's not a leader, you need to be basically on a team full of regen units, and per regen unit you get an extra plus 5% damage inflicted, plus 5% to key recovery, and up to 3 support members will be counted. So, like I said, you kind of want to be running him on a regen team by all accounts so far. Moving on swiftly then to his arts card. So looking at his strike, he pierces through any enemy damage reduction effects on hit. So he's got impact, damage, cut, penetration. I'm pretty sure it's also got blast armor, but we'll see in game. Gain attribute upgrades, minus 10% to sustain damage cut effects. Interesting. Okay, yeah, it's got blast armor just down there. Nice to know. So we've got the blast card. Pierce through enemy damage reduction effects on hit, so impact, damage, cut, penetration. Gain attribute upgrades, minus 10 to enemy sustained damage cut effects, which is basically the same. Moving on to the blue card then. If the unique gauge is full, restore key and vanishing gauge, and even inflict no switching upon activation. Interesting. Okay, so deals massive explode damage, applies the following effects to self upon activation, restores key by 20, and restores own vanishing gauge by 100%. That's pretty strong, you know. It doesn't say on hit either, so yeah, actually it's upon activation. So even if you miss the opponent, you can get this off, and it activates twice, which once again is a very strong ability actually. Destroys all enemy cards on hit, has blast armor as well, and inflicts all enemies with no switching for 3 timer counts upon activation if this character's unique gauge is full. So we'll have a little look at what the unique gauge entails in a little bit. Like I said, it is time bound a little bit like Ultra Hit, but this is looking pretty strong, short but sweet if I be honest. So let's move on to the green card then. So nullify the enemy's special cover changes, and even convert your blast card arts into strike arts. Okay, so what character what character comes to mind that this is countering basically? Bearing in mind he's yellow as well. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking Ultra Gogeta Buu. Maybe it is time that he drops off the meta a little bit with this Ultra Kid Buu. So maybe if you struggle with Ultra Gogeta Blues, you might want to have this Ultra Kid Buu. So go on the offensive with strikes after using special arts. So applies the following effects to self upon activation, restores ki by 40, plus 20% to strike damage inflicted for 15 timer counts, changes blast art cards to strike art cards, and applies the buff effect nullify enemy special actions when changing cover, so cover change, for 10 timer counts, which isn't bad actually. It's pretty nice green card going that far. Draw a special move arts card next on hit if this character unique gauge is full. Oh, so it's a long range green card, is it? Okay. Which you can combo with Strike Blast, green again, I guess, or a blue card. So looks pretty strong. Granted, you've got to get it off, and especially if you've got your unique gauge full, this is looking pretty strong. Once again, especially against Ultra Gogeta Buu. But let's move on to the ultimate then. So this powerful ultimate art nullifies the enemy's endurance effects whilst also damaging all enemies and sealing their main abilities. Okay. Deals supreme explode damage, applies the following effects to self upon activation, plus 20% ultimate damage for 3 timer counts. Nullifies endurance basically for 3 timer counts. The following effects occur on hit. A portion of damage will also be dealt to enemy members on standby, so basically an AoE, but it will not cause them to be defeated, but still an AoE. There's a lot of AoEs with these Majin Buu saga characters in there. Seals all enemies' main abilities for 5 timer counts. Once again, that can be very strong, especially if you're against, you know, like the Gogetas and all that sort of stuff who heal off the main abilities, or the Pans and things as well. So that's looking pretty good as well. A lot of people were saying maybe this Buu is free to play because of his art. I'm not thinking he's going to be, purely because of this. But hey ho, like I said, stay throughout. I'll make sure I put in my thoughts of when he's going to be released. So here we go. This is where the paragraphs start. So let's start with the unique ability number 1. So fill the unique gauge and get a massive 2 levels of arts card draw speed up when combined with the boost at battle start. Buu has high modifiers to damage inflicted, giving it both strong recovery and high firepower. Interesting. Okay, so let's have a little look at it then. Applies the following effects to self when the battle starts. 110% to damage inflicted. That's quite high, actually. It's even for an Ultra unit, is it not? Reduces damage received by 60, which is a little bit lower than what they've been doing recently. They've been doing like sort of 65, 70, but we'll see. Increases Arts card draw speed by 1 level, cannot be cancelled. That's just for him being alive on the field, I guess. Applies the attribute upgrade, minus 20% to enemy sustained damage cut effects. Restores own health by 30% once only when it reaches 0. So basically endurance, and it cannot be cancelled either, which is interesting. I'm not sure if there's anyone else who can have it not cancelled. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. Let me know down below if you can think of anyone. Plus 15% to health restoration for 60 timer counts. That's quite a long time as well, 60 timer counts. Nullifies attribute downgrades and abnormal conditions for once again 60 timer counts, cannot be cancelled. So it's already looking pretty good from the start there. So gradually charges own unique gauge over time whilst this character is on the battlefield or on standby. Once again, very similar to Ultra Hit. Applies the following effects to self when the unique gauge is full. Plus 30% to damage inflicted, cannot be cancelled. Reduces damage received by 10%, so it'll go up to 70 there. Minus 5 to arts cost, and also gets an additional card draw speed level by 1 level. So that is where, if you've got the unique gauge full, you've got basically 2 cards draw speed levels. Which is pretty good if you're comboing, if I be honest. If the unique gauge is full after an enemy attack is over, it resets to 0 and the following effects occur. Restores own health by 20%, plus 10% to damage inflicted, cannot be cancelled either, interesting. Doesn't say that you can't stack it either, which is really interesting. Shortens allies substitution counts by 2, so that's everyone. Randomly destroys 2 enemy cards, so not too bad. Not quite the same as the Ultra Hit, obviously, with the green card and his time skip and things, but quite a lot of disruption there, and also quite a lot of healing and all that sort of good stuff. So looking pretty good thus far. Let's have a look at the second unique ability. So it has a special cover change against strike arts. Recover health and ki every time an arts card is drawn for impressive durability. Very similar to the Saiyan Saga Nappa. The blue, I think he's blue off the top of my head. Came out quite a while ago as well, if you've used him. Plus, when the enemy activates a Rising Rush, recover your vanishing gauge by 100%. Once again, the person that comes in mind is Ultra Kid Buu. I think they think it is finally time to cut him out of the meta a little bit with this guy. And when 2 allies are defeated, nullify enemy endurance and activate other powerful effects, okay? So we've got the cover change against strike arts, which you can combo with a special move arts, interest, okay? Also applies the following effects to self every time this character draws an arts card. So it restores his health by 2% and restores ki by 10 as well. Very nice, very nice. Like I said, very similar to the Saiyan Saga Blue Nappa, the sparking one. Applies the following effects to self every time this character uses a strike or blast arts card. Gets plus 10% to special move damage inflicted for 10 timer counts, plus 10% to ultimate damage for 10 timer counts, and plus 10% to ki recovery. So this guy looks like he's all about combos, doesn't he? All about combos with his extra card draw speed, extra special move damage inflicted, ultimate damage inflicted, all that sort of stuff, and then you pop his main and just use it, and you'll probably just kill instantly, I imagine. So the following effects occur when the enemy activates Rise and Rush whilst this character's on the battlefield. Activates once. Restores own vanishing gauge by 100% and cancels enemy attribute upgrades and buff effects. So once again, if he's a little bit like Android 17, MVP 17 actually. If he's on the field, he'll cancel it as long as it can be cancelled. Once again, he's looking like a perfect counter to Ultra Kid Buu, isn't he? So once again, if you are struggling against Kid Buu, this is probably your man, to be fair. And very lastly then, applies the following effects to self when 2 allies are defeated. Charges unique gauge by 100% instantly and nullifies enemies basically endurance. Effects when this character attacks cannot be cancelled. So he has a bit of a last man standing ability as well. I mean, even though it's quite short and sweet, he looks like he's got everything, doesn't he? If I be honest. So once again, let me know down below what you think of this character. I'll be honest as well. I personally think he is going to be a bit of a menace, a bit of a nuisance, which does suit the Buu Kid, or Kid Buu to be honest, and his character. Okay, so that is pretty much everything that we have about the Ultra Kid Buu at this point in time. Now let's go over when I think the banner will be released, if he is summonable basically. I do think he will be, even though there's a lot of talk of free to play. I think that they're going to release the next free to play Ultra possibly in the anniversary. Now the anniversary does start, and I've got up this particular banner here because obviously the MUI Goku banner was the first banner that came out for the anniversary, and it did start on the 28th of May. So we have got a little bit of time between that, pretty much a full month if I be honest. So looking at the Ultra Kid Buu, and also looking at, I've gone back to hits just to see the sort of time frame that these Ultra banners were being released, and they're out for roughly around 2 weeks in total. So with the anniversary being there, and also I think they're going to give a bit of a cooldown 2 weeks prior to that. And not only that, just looking at other YouTubers and what they've reported and all that sort of stuff, apparently on the Japanese version, it was stated that the release date of this Ultra Kid Buu will be on the final day of April, being the 30th. So with that, it does kind of make sense and fit in as well, because it'll take us from the 30th up to the 14th. We'll get that 2 week sort of break, and then we'll go into the anniversary as well. So once again, it's up to you if you want to summon on this banner with Ultra Kid Buu. He is looking pretty good, especially against Ultra Gogeta Blue. But bearing in mind, we have got the anniversary coming up as well, so you may want to save your CC. It's totally up to you. What I would probably say is, if Kid Buu's your favourite character, or you run regen on a regular basis, probably summon on this banner, because regen very rarely gets a buff, if at all, to be honest. But if you don't really play regen that much, or you're not that bothered about Kid Buu, save your CC for the anniversary, because we all know we're going to get some absolute hype units for that as well. But let me know down in the comments if you are summoning, yes or no, and also if or what form of Buu is your favourite. Let me know down in the comments. But yes, just to rehash that, I do think the 30th of April is when this banner will release. It is a bit odd having it on a Sunday, but hey ho, like I said, it does fit in with the timings leading up to the anniversary. Okay, this actually came out a couple of days ago, but I thought I might as well cover it anyway. We do also have Super Saiyan 3 Goku's unique equipment coming soon. Bearing in mind with this, you do have to make sure that his friendship level is level 5, and then they'll release a special event for it. So if I was you, I'd be getting farming now, because the unique equipment that they've done, the only other one that they've done is for Majin Buu Good, and it is absolutely unreal. To be honest, probably the best equipment in the game. If I remember, I'll put something up top so you can actually go visit that video that I did if you're interested on seeing that about the Majin Buu. But like I said, this guy was pretty crazy when he first came out, and even when he got a Zenkai, all you had to do was hit strike cards and you just win basically. So I'll be very interested to see what they actually do with the unique equipment for this guy. I imagine they're going to do quite a lot on that unique equipment. Probably the first or second best equipment in the game it'll result in. But not only that as well, we've also got the rest of the Majin Buu Saga schedule, which I brought up in a different tab here. So if we have a little look at it, they have now released the rest of it. So we've got the Ultra Buu Joins the Fight, which we've just been talking about. We've got Raging Battle, the most fearsome Margin, which is like the Ultra Goku Black event. I think they did it for Hit as well, where you go through something like 30 stages. If you get to the end, you'll get a free 1,000 Chrono Crystals, so make sure to do that when it comes out. And we've also got a Golden Showdown, which basically relates to the PvP, and also you've got gold coins. Make sure to grind out some PvP, grind those gold coins, and you can exchange them for awesome things like CC, slot removers, all that sort of good stuff as well, and the unique equipment that we just mentioned as well. So, and that should conclude the full Majin Buu Saga campaign basically. So very interesting. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on this campaign in total. Also what your thoughts are on the Ultra Kid Buu. That's pretty much everything I got to talk about in this video. So if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. And like I said, let me know your thoughts down below. Until next time, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you later. Ciao.